The first time you hear that your child may have Asperger syndrome, you worry about their future, how to help them, how to pay for the therapy, how to provide them with the best education possible so they can grow up to be happy and integrate successfully into society. We all want our loved ones to find happiness and acceptance in life, but it can be overwhelming at times to know what to do. Hi, I'm Craig Kendall. If you know or suspect that your loved one has Asperger syndrome, my book, The Asperger Syndrome Survival Guide, is the most useful resource you will likely ever find. In my guide, I'll take you on the journey from the first diagnosis to finding treatments that meet your loved one's unique needs and explain the critical role that parents can play. Whether you're starting your information search from scratch or you're an Asperger's expert, you're about to learn the exact techniques and strategies that I personally use to help my son, Alex, survive and conquer Asperger syndrome, as well as the methods that over 100 other parents personally shared with me. Let's face it, the sheer number of expert opinions on Asperger syndrome treatment, not all of them trustworthy, can be overwhelming to parents, grandparents, or anyone who supports a loved one with Asperger's. In my book, I cover in depth the questions all these parents have been asking me. For me, the most important lesson I ever learned was just how do Asperger's kids view the world around them. This is one of the most important things you have to understand to begin helping your child. It's difficult and frustrating trying to see the world through your child's eyes. Through interviews with Aspies as well as counselors and parents, I show you how the world looks to your Asperger's loved one. Secondly, Aspies behavior can be challenging to say the least, whether it's the meltdowns, the tantrums, or the depression. My book provides detailed solutions to cope with the tough situations you face daily. Third, parents tell me they're desperate to help their children be happy and feel content in who they are and bring peace to their households. I've been very lucky. With the help of other parents and professionals, I have found the secrets of success. So many parents and professionals throughout the US, Europe, and Australia have shared with me what works and what doesn't. And these parents often have the same comment: doctors don't seem to know this stuff. This was my experience. It took nearly 5 years to arrive at a correct diagnosis, and several more before my wife and I found the formula to not only control my son's behavior, but to teach him how to make and keep friends and avoid being bullied at school. The Asperger Syndrome Survival Guide explains what Asperger's really is, its causes and treatments. Not just an academic list of treatments, but a list of what works based on hundreds of interviews with parents. Asperger's and its treatments are very complex, but with the help of hundreds of interviews of other parents and professionals, the guide makes these issues crystal clear. Parents also shared with me the medications they tried, which they would recommend, and what the side effects are. For those of you who are considering medications, this is must-read material. They also shared with me what accommodations and changes they made in their homes that ultimately made the biggest difference. It's all covered in these parents' own words so that you can learn from true experts. Why is the Asperger Syndrome Survival Guide so successful? Why do so many parents and supporters of loved ones with Asperger syndrome continually email me thanking me for the book? Because it's written for parents from a parent. It contains material not available anywhere else on the internet or in printed books. Information on Asperger's, whether in books or on the web, is vast and confusing. The Asperger Syndrome Survival Guide is going to solve your problem by giving you a concise grasp of Asperger syndrome, how it affects your loved one and your family, how to find a good therapist, and how to ensure your loved one attains the life skills necessary to lead as fulfilling and independent a life as possible. Let's face it, all parents want to do the best for their children, and this indispensable book shows how, step by step. In my guide, I distill the vast amount of information that is out there for parents and separate the good advice from the bad. The guide is a beacon of sanity and reassurance for any family navigating these stormy waters. The Asperger Syndrome Survival Guide clearly explains what the ideal process should be when you learn you have a child on the spectrum and discusses the issues facing the entire family. We all want our loved ones to be a success in life. We all want our loved ones to function normally in the world without being dependent on someone else. You want your loved one to be able to look people in the eyes and express and receive love, to experience rewarding interpersonal relationships, to be happy and know how much they're loved. The guide lays out in plain English ways to treat and improve the quality of life for those with Asperger's syndrome. It explains how a person with Asperger's can integrate successfully into society and live a productive life. It also covers in detail the unique issues faced by adults with Asperger's and how to best deal with teenagers suffering from Asperger's syndrome, whether that is issues with dating or finding a job or just being bullied at school. I also cover the latest research results so that you can understand the recent medical advances that have been made in trying to find a cure and the most effective treatments. But as parents and caregivers, you need help too. As parents, you need coping strategies to help with day-to-day life and to gain the emotional support you need. I know how difficult it is to deal with the day-to-day struggles of Asperger's. My guide will provide you with an understanding of the kinds of support systems you need to have in place to recharge your batteries so that you can be there for your loved one when he or she needs you. The result of reading the Asperger's Syndrome Survival Guide is a happier, healthier family, more focused on the path to long-term success. I receive emails all the time from parents thanking me for putting my book together. They often comment on how easy it is to read because I wrote it in a non-technical way. One woman, Kay Williams of Australia, said in her email to me, "I thank the Lord that I was able to receive your information and thank you very much for them. God bless you for the good work you're doing." The Asperger's Syndrome Survival Guide comes with 4 additional free guides so that you can start gaining the information you need immediately to help your loved one. Please help your loved one and help yourself by reading the contents of this webpage. On this page, I explain the path my family and I have traveled to overcome Asperger's and how others have benefited from the Asperger's Syndrome Survival Guide. Take 5 minutes and read this page. It may be the best decision you have ever made in your fight against Asperger's syndrome.